Hello there. It's Mike.
And Katie.
And this is episode 116. What are we talking about today, Katie?
Today it's all about the gauze.
Yeah.
Gosling.
On our very special romancy edition of Cup of Red in the evening. Okay, it could be the morning when you're listening to this, so it's more like Cup of Red in the morning. Or it's your afternoon delight. I don't know. Whatever gets you through the day.
Yeah.
Hey, how you going? How you doing? What's up?
Romance doesn't need to have a certain time of day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whenever you're feeling it,
just go with it.
you need to just look her in the eye and say,
He doesn't quite know. He's just looking.
I don't know if I can say that word. Because I'm not going to look you in the eye and say it.
No.
But I said it to your face.
You sure you really said it to your face?
I said it to your face.
So yeah.
What?
I'm here. I'm good. I don't know.
This is the club remix.
Cup of Red remix. And this is why he's not a DJ. Because it would just sound like that all the time.
It would not. It would be beautiful.
It would lots of honking.
Yes. Yeah. Little sound clips of Donald Duck every once in a while too. And people would love it.
Anyway, so this is our very special.
This is how romance is here.
Yeah, this is Cup of Red romance, by the way.
Oh yeah. Can I throw those in every once in a while? Oh yeah. Baby.
You know, me and Mike have known each other for a very long time, honestly.
It's been 84 years.
Sometimes it feels like that. I love you. And so, it's amazing to see we've had so many opportunities of different types of romance. We've done the mixtapes and the love letters and
we never did mixtapes.
We did mix CDs. Sorry, we're not that old. Mixed CDs.
CDs, yo.
Yeah, you made me lots of CDs.
Well, that's what long distance,
Oh, I know. It's good stuff.
Now I could have just shared stuff to you and it would have been so much easier. It would have been
like, oh, you sent me this Spotify list. Right?
Playlist. Boom.
You would have just made a curated. I wonder if people do that now. Instead of a mixtape, it's like, hey, baby, I created a Spotify playlist for you and just shared that.
Oh, wow.
Oh. I might need to ask you to do that now to see if you still have that touch.
I've always got that touch.
I'd be curious to see, because we have a family playlist that we just like music we like, which kind of helps us to both you and me share music with our son, obviously, but then even share music that we like with each other, right?
Yeah.
But to be something like that, I would get overwhelmed because I have so many songs. But yeah, I'd be like, I don't even think we could, because you're like, but I would mess up my Spotify if we start having it play romancy songs.
Yeah, we were looking on Rio Music for kiddos, like, and Norwegian jazz and stuff starting to pop up on my Spotify. That's like weird, because he had a project he was doing, and
yeah, he played some Mario music with my Spotify the other day, and so now it's like recently played this. I'm like, oh, it's gonna haunt my Spotify page forever now. Like, this is why you have your own Spotify account.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, but that idea where you wouldn't even have to make anything anymore. You have this, but now they could even be lazy because these like romance playlists are already made for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, just
people want to make TikTok videos for each other now too. Maybe.
Yeah, you never know, right?
But so if I did it, I'm totally putting on Simply the Best.
Yeah.
Better than all the rest.
I wouldn't expect anything less now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Schitt's Creek.
I was informed today that I am David to Katie's Patrick, apparently.
Yeah.
So
it's very much.
I feel a little attacked. So
accurate.
And I should be celebrated.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, we've been watching so much Schitt's Creek, and it's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, it's we were late to the party on it, but at the same time, it's nice to be able to just watch it in continuation. Mm-hmm. It won a whole bunch of Emmys last year. and it's been nominated for Golden Globes this year.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos on a little Canadian show getting noticed. So bravo.
It's very awesome. Dan Levy was hosted SNL
this last
weekend here. And so, that's obviously from this.
Yeah.
And that's just bringing, it's awesome to see a Canadian television show get so much attention in mainstream, right?
Exactly. So, we have our little wins,
But that's our current, date nights.
Yeah,
it's just Creek, really.
Pretty much.
What it is, right?
Yeah.
So.
I think we should start a TV show. I think we should start the polar bear milking show.
Oh,
yeah. I think that's what the world needs to see.
Well, especially right now with all this polar winds, Arctic outflows going on. There's on Twitter, there's a polar vortex hashtag happening right now. People sharing their freezing literally frosted eyelashes.
Yeah.
So what do they do with those polar bears in this weather?
Right. So you know what? That's a good show. It'd be a real good reality style television show. Polar bear milking.
Yeah.
Milk's good. I have a friend that keeps trying to tell us we need to move to Saskatchewan. But she had posted today that it feels like -45.
Yeah, she's not selling that one.
So I was like, wow.
It's going to be like 300 degrees in the summer with flies, and in the winter it's...
I don't know if it's there. It's Saskatchewan, not
Manitoba. I know Manitoba has all the flies, but
yeah. But yeah,
there's nothing in 300-mile radius.
You haven't done your full research.
I have not.
So...
I have not.
But
yes, the
-45 was a little shocking to see.
Celsius, by the way.
So
just clarifying for everyone.
Let's make them wonder.
I know. -45 degrees Fahrenheit would be pretty intense.
Right?
Too. Yeah, it's going to be really chilly this week coming up here. We got our, as I say, Arctic outflows. We usually have it at least once a winter, but winter's been really mild here so far. So
I was out in a hoodie when I was doing supervision. So
right, I wore a sweatshirt on Friday out doing stuff, and it's going to be definitely much colder. Our highs are negative coming up here, so it's going to be nice and chilly, and we actually have some snow. See what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
February is hitting with vengeance.
Totally. One thing that I would like to say, though, is especially because there continues to be COVID restrictions for everything, check on your friends. Make sure they're doing okay. Because, there's a lot of things that are changing for people. Not being able to see people. Like our area alone has been put into pretty much not allowed to see anyone outside your home. So definitely check on your people. It's easy to get caught in our own little bubbles and not reach out and see how people are doing. So take the time, even if you only know them through social media, say, hey, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
So it's always good to do, especially around now.
Well, yeah, I think so much of us have some fatigue. Obviously, we have fatigue from everything and all the restrictions, and it just keeps going on. And it's hard not to get caught up in the fear and the worry, and then also wanting to stay safe and being frustrated. So yeah, it's definitely worth trying to reach out. Just randomly video chat. Call them if you have. There you go. There you go.
Make sure you got pants on them, or you're not on the toilet. That would be embarrassing, especially the views you could get. So anyways, let's move forward. We're not going to talk about romance right yet. We're going to talk about something that I got because I'm excited. So I got the Batman Who Laughs.
Can I say this is your early Valentine's Day present? Oh, wind out of his sails right there. Anyways. Ouch! Never.
Do I have a Valentine's present?
At the moment, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was kind of worried there for a moment.
Random Mike got something fun.
Well, because we went to Toy Traders and they had the death metal bike, and I already posted a photo of it, and a little video and all that. And I'm super excited because it's really awesome. Because it's very rare that Lines make vehicles these days.
Yeah.
And being that it was a motorcycle, it's nice and simple, right? And I'm really excited because it just looks cool. It's a skeleton bike.
Well, I love that it stands up, no problem. Yeah. It's got a big fat back tire. Yeah. And it's got some nice balance to it, and it rolls well.
Yeah.
We were playing back and forth with it, actually, already.
So, like, I was pretty excited. So I'm really sold on the whole death metal line. I'm excited to get the Trinity in there because that's really cool. I am looking for Earth 22 Robin, the Crow Robin. I cannot seem to find it anywhere. I know I was a little late to the party, but not like extremely late to the party on it.
Yeah.
But because they had 3 separate heads, people snagged them up fast. And it's looking to be pretty hard to get that. I don't care about 3. I just want 1. So if you find one that I don't have to sell my firstborn child to get a hold of, hit me up.
That would be nice.
Because, yeah. But the bike is amazing. I put the Batman Who Laughs on it with the wings, and it just looked badass.
Well, some of those pictures you've taken of that Batman there is really scary. Like, well, I showed one of the pictures that you had done, and kiddo kind of jumped because it's really scary, actually.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
But that's pretty awesome. It's definitely a different type of figure than we're used to having, so it's really cool.
Oh, and you know what? This might sound weird. But the figure, because it's got the rubbery jacket, long coat, which I'm excited then for the other Batman, the heavy metal Batman.
Yeah.
It smells like old McFarlane toys.
It smelled good.
Like it's that rubbery plastic, like.
Yeah, I forgot how long it's been since we've had that.
Right, where you like crack a toy and you can it's just like
you sniff it.
Yeah. Huffing plastic.
Oh, it's good stuff.
But you know, that's one of those ones where it's just I'm very excited for the McFarlane line.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to stick more with some of the death metal stuff. I'm not gonna get all all of them, but some of them are really cool, and I'm excited for those. So they're doing a good job. Sucked me in, got me excited for DC again.
It was all Flash's fault.
Yeah, pretty much. But
everything that goes wrong right is the Flash's fault.
Right? There you go.
He's always the crux of every crisis.
Yep. Created a crisis in the Cup of Rat home.
It's the McFarlane crisis.
Yep.
That's hilarious, actually. I like it.
Yep. But they're amazing looking. They're fantastic. The articulation's great for the price point, right? Yeah. You know, like there's something amazing. Like I like their comic based figures more than anything. The movie ones that they've done have my favorite looks, and that's why it took a bit to get into some of them, because I was like, yeah. And then you got your Flash, and I was like, wow, the articulation's fantastic, and it just looks amazing. So then, you know, getting a few of the ones that I like. There's quite a few coming out that look really cool. So
excellent.
Yeah.
That's all the only new thing, but
no, but it was exciting. It was thrilling. Totally. It was a good.
I think it was about 30 seconds after he got home before he cracked that thing open.
Oh, totally.
It was pretty awesome.
I was on the floor wrapping the thing around.
So, other than Schitt's Creek, any other TV we've been watching?
Well, we slowly trudging through the season 2 of Thundercats.
Yeah.
We got to have Snarfra, the Ever Living.
This is a toy that I would like to be seen made. Because, you know, at first it was like, oh goodness, you know, Mama's going to do another possession one. But no, it's a Freaky Friday episode. So they swapped with Mamat. But the ending was the best part, because in order to save the day, Snarf transformed into, you know, Snarfra, the Ever Living. And he was ginormous. He was bigger than Mumra.
Yeah, that'd be like a...
Because, I mean, he had...
14-inch toy?
He had the other Thundercats, and they were just like tiny... It was like Kong.
Yeah, he's like King Kong.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and he was just all like hulked out and like crazy like, and that was funny. So,
yeah.
That was interesting. And then we've rewatched Mandalorian Season 2.
That's right. So now is any time we can spoil anything of it, because it's been out long enough. We've been able to watch it twice. And if you know that's a feat.
And if you've actually managed to avoid spoilers
this long, thus far,
I don't think you really care then anymore. Let's be honest.
So Mando 2 is a fantastic season.
So much happened, you know, actually watching it so quickly, it was impressive to see. It was like, oh wow, this happened and this happened and this happened, and it's like they fit a lot in there.
Yeah. I still think the Ahsoka Tano episode is my favorite episode of the season, just for the way that it's shot.
Yeah.
It just feels like a samurai movie. Mm-hmm. It's beautifully, like, there's a lot more going on there with everything.
It's so
like
cinematic, right?
Yeah. Like, so like a lot of the shots remind me more of animation, right? Like, it just feels
I
epic.
love her, the use of the fog. And that you just see her saber and then she disappears. And it's just, she's definitely a ninja ghost going on, right?
Ninja ghost.
They made it very terrifying.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And so then I almost want to know, I do want to know what got her to that point.
Yeah.
Because in Rebels, she had gone so much more peacekeeper.
Yes.
This, she was definitely a little bit more angry. She's a little bit more aggressive, like, kill first, right? Yeah. Hostile negotiations,
right?
So what's happened? What's changed? She went from wearing, the white robes and all that to now she was in like all black, right? Like, so what's changed?
Well, with her too. Okay, so Thrawn was such a villain before. So what happened to Thrawn during all those years? And then she's still trying to hunt him down.
Because him and Ezra disappeared into the other rim, right?
You're right. So
they were on the ship when they got sucked into the space.
Has she been doing everything now to try to figure that out? And that's basically what she's been doing. And she's just gotten
maybe consumed.
Yeah. Or
there's more to it, and Thrawn's been doing something that we're not privy to until the show comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the Lightspeed space whales.
Yes, the space whales
that energized and took them into unknown territory.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with that. Definitely makes me excited to see what else they show for that character, and I think it was a great introduction for it.
Yeah.
And it was cool to be able to see such an instant connection with Grogu, and to get some extra light on that and really move that character forward and it really provide intense character development for him. That all of a sudden he wasn't just this innocent baby. Now he was an actual character that had been in training and had a name and had all this stuff, and it was just been severely traumatized.
Yeah,
and so it was a lot happened in that one episode.
Yeah. And then we get to actually see Boba Fett live the legend, do all his,
Man, he was scary.
It was, and it was fantastic to finally see in live form him kicking butt.
Yeah. Well, and he would have had so much more survival issues too. It's been 5 years since he would have been
something like that,
kicked into the pit.
Sarlacc pit.
And having to survive that long without his armor then too, and to show that he was definitely more than just depending on that.
Yeah.
He would have had to learn new techniques as well.
He didn't really use blasters. He used his giant club, like watching the armor shatter.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's like a giant golf club. But yeah, like hitting them and just making them explode. That was intense.
Now I'm just thinking of Happy Gilmore.
Yep. Because that's all we watched it again. I was like, I just can imagine this giant golf club just beating the hell out of everything. So I like the with him saying, that he has this debt to him, and that with Grogu getting picked up, then he has that honor code with him, and that was an interesting development for someone that he always had. He had gotten to that point where he was technically a bad guy, really.
Yeah. But
then everyone likes him so much, and now you had a bit more of a reason to kind of be okay with liking him because he shows that he still has maybe some honor to him, and I like that twist. So.
No, that was really good. And then you have Bill Burr's episode again, and like you agreed, he had a better stormtrooper arc than Finn did.
Yep.
In 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Redemption arc.
That was an intense episode.
The first time I watched it, I was actually not as excited about it. The second episode, I found the enjoyment in it more for its purpose and all that.
Yeah. Right.
So I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final episode,
still gives me goosebumps.
I just think that was a fantastically done episode with action. It was just...
Well, like every part of it, to see Mando fighting the way he was, so confident for things as well.
The Beskar staff.
And how, I mean, those are some crazy odds that he was against. And it was just, it was cool to see him just go for it so much, right?
Yeah.
But then, you know, with all of them, how quickly they took over the ship themselves. I liked Bo-Katan's face. I felt really bad for Mando when she, you know, I wish she had said more about the dark saber.
Yes, yeah,
right?
there needs to be more communication.
It's like, you know, it's one thing for her to say that it was really important for her to persevere and see him, you know, captured essentially. And another thing to be like, no, this is the reason why, is because I need this back. And it shows that it almost was a bit of that honor where it needs to not be like given to her feel, because even if she says, no, I need to be the one that actually wins it off of him, it's almost like, here, I'll let you, you know, win it.
Yeah.
Rather than being the one to have the opportunity for it. But yeah, that seemed like a big piece of information that would have been helpful.
Yeah. You know, well, the fact that they found him and he was, you know, wouldn't take off his mask, and they're like, oh, you're one of those cultists. Yeah. Right. So like, then he probably doesn't know too much about some of your other stuff, possibly. Because they're, you know, so yeah, that was one of those moments where I was like, seriously, like, just talk it out.
Yeah. You walked yourself into that corner there.
Yeah. So that's what's going to be curious with season 3 to see
what he does with that,
how it's going to come in. Are they going to become enemies now? Are they going to have to battle out? Or, you know, is he just going to go and try to claim it? Like, what's going to happen? Yeah. You know,
she's not going to stop wanting it.
No.
You know, and she, you know, he already tried just giving it to her. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
I'm really curious where season 3 is going to go. Mm-hmm. You know,
well, with Grogu gone, because I mean, oh my God, that whole scene.
Yeah. We've got to finally have the Legend of Skywalker.
Like, I love the confusion. Like, why is there one X-Wing that showed up? Yeah. And Moff Gideon's face was just like, wait a second. Yeah. You know, he had that.
He was the only one that kind of knew that something was...
Because he's supposed to know everything.
Tricky.
Right? And then when that started, and the slow reveal between, of course, the lightsaber, the belt and the glove and all that sort of stuff, and then just him taking out all of those dark troopers there. Yeah. And seeing how hard Mando was fighting those, just one of them, and to see how many of them, whole platoon, taken out, him chopping them in half and just choking them.
Didn't even break a sweat by the looks of it.
He just kept walking through them. Yeah. And it was just like, yes, this is why he was awesome.
What I thought was interesting was that last one, you could start to tell almost like the anger.
Yes. It was emotional.
Yeah. That the last one that he destroys is more like Vader.
Yes. Because he rips him apart with the Force rather than just, and it's slower.
It was slow, painful. Like even though it was a robot, like he crushes it. Yeah. Right. And
well, yeah, because I noticed that the second time through, and I was like, wait a second, that one, you know, he had taken his saber and just cut them in half before. Yeah. This one was like intense, angry.
It was almost like, I'm done with this. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Crush. Yeah. So.
But yeah, that was just like, holy crap. That was amazing.
So, you know, it's a fantastic show. I'm excited to see what season 3 will bring. Especially, I'm curious to see where they're going to go with the Book of Fett as well. Yes. You know, there's so much potential for the Star Wars universe to expand, especially with the Plus format, the TV format. Hopefully they stick with the smaller seasons, I think, just because I think it helps keep storytelling more concise. Yeah. Is that a word?
Concise. Yeah, something is concise.
Yeah. So, and then speaking of that, though, WandaVision. Yes. Right? So WandaVision picked up, you know, for people that weren't really enjoying the first few episodes, the last two have really picked up the pace.
Well, then when you got the view of the outside world and then start seeing it all blended together, and you start seeing the cracks in the show, essentially, of what were the first few episodes in Wanda's world, and seeing some more of those driving factors and seeing the sheer power that's behind all of this, start getting some answers. I was excited already and happy and intrigued, but this is like even more so. Like, how are they going to resolve this?
Keeps hooking. It keeps something that's like the next and next and next.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see where the show's going to go, because that last episode 5, was just like, whoa.
Right.
And you get to see how scary Wanda really has become.
Yes.
I'm noticing that the commercials actually have, I already figured that there was probably a purpose, but this last one for me clicked it. The Lagos there is where, she made the mistake with the explosion.
Well, yeah, and then the commercial is all a paper towel, and it was, being able to clean up mistakes you didn't mean to make.
Yeah.
Or accidents you didn't make to mean to happen. Right?
Yeah. So then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, then you go back and you realize Hydra Soak come out clean and new, right? Rejuvenated in a new you.
Well, the first one was Stark.
Well, the first one was the toaster with Stark, right? And that was the bombs that dropped on her family, right? Because they were Stark weapons. Then you've got the second one, which is the Hydra watch, and that's when she joined Hydra, right? And then the third one was the Hydra Soaks, which would have been when she had got mutated, right, from Hydra, because she came out anew from Hydra Soak.
Yeah. And then now Lagos is now the
mistake. So they're like tidbits to her history, so I'm curious to see what else. Is there going to be anything we don't know?
Yeah.
Right.
Something that shows up in there that we're like, okay, this kind of makes sense for something. And then I don't
because
know.
Because it's interesting too, is because then there wasn't anything referring to, say, Pedro, right?
Yes.
It just skips over that. And that was then with that other episode that dealt with Rambo, right?
Yeah.
With the idea that when she mentioned that's when she gets ejected. So
yes. It's like she was just trying to
forget it.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's a trip to see all the psychological aspect behind things too. And it's like you feel bad for her because she's traumatized and she's going through a lot, but you can only afford that so much when someone has so much power.
Yeah.
And you can only let it happen for so long. And she has, affecting other people. Right? So I'm really excited. I keep, Friday nights are super fun to look forward to that for. So.
And we just found out that Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to finally be dropping the 19th of March.
Yes.
So that'll be exciting. And March also we get the Mighty Duck show, Game Changers.
Yeah.
So
I know you're concerned about that, not really excited. Are we going to still try it out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it weird that the Ducks are the bad guys in it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Especially when the show is actually called the Mighty Ducks. It's like,
how are they going to spin it so that it's interesting?
It's like, well, especially like, how do you get the duck name back then? Like, I don't know. That's where I'm confused by it. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do, because, the whole point of the Mighty Ducks movies where they were the underdogs that was always up against the bullies, right? So now you're going to make the Ducks the bullies and coming up with a new team. Like, I don't understand the marketing behind it.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's one of those weird ones where it just feels like having them have to dust off the old Ducks name to fly again is like marketing that just writes itself.
Yeah.
Right.
So why are you making it more complicated than it seems like it needed to be? Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to go. And it's a hockey show, so it's going to be,
we have to watch it.
Yeah. There's very few hockey shows.
True.
And when, this is for you, Bunch, when a Canadian sees a hockey show, they need to stop and watch. That is a Canadian truth. It is required and is part of our DNA.
That is true.
Even if it's about American hockey.
See hockey,
we
must
put
watch.
Aside our differences and we watch it because it's hockey and the ice calls to us deep within our souls.
Oh, now I'm just singing the Moana song. It calls to me. They need to do that song, but with hockey.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Someone out there. There we go.
Okay. We need to figure that out.
Okay, on to the main event.
So it's romantic movies.
So, romantic movies. As we already talked about, romantic movies are difficult for me because I have like Die Hard ones that I love.
Not Die Hard.
Not Die Hard.
That's a Christmas movie.
I have ones that are traditional, like old school movies that I really, really love, and it's hard for me to find new ones that I like. But we thought we'd try to find something, and we tried looking through and.
Well, so I looked on. This was. I thought this was funny. I put in like I was like Valentine's Day or romance. Right, romantic comedy romance, or something like that, right? In the little speech thing, and it just brought up all those Christmas movies that we laughed at last month.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, no, I thought romance was like a huge money making category. Like, why isn't it like?
Apparently, they're all in Christmas now.
Apparently, like, Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies have just like cornered that market completely,
right? Well, yeah. So we were trying to figure out what we can watch.
So we're on Netflix, and I was like, and they actually had a category up there. I was like, okay, we're gonna look at the romantic movie category, and nothing was catching my eye. And I was like, it's like, okay, here's your chance, Katie. You can choose to watch The Notebook.
So to be honest, I've never seen The Notebook. I could care less about it at the time when it did come out, and it just never really spoke to me. And now it's come to the point where it's been so long. Now it's a little bit of the principle of things. Like, I'm not going to watch The Notebook. And because I know that projected Gosling to like huge fan stardom at that time. And I was like, well, whatever. Like, I like Ryan Gosling from La La Land and from The Nice Guys. Those are my two favorite, things from him. And so we sat there with it, like being able to hit play on The Notebook.
No, so she said, you do it. I was like, no, this is your choice. You need to hit it. So I gave her the remote. I was like, just push okay. And we can watch The Notebook. I'll let it happen. I will give you that moment. I will make that sacrifice because I'm a good partner. I will let you watch romantic movies, right?
I didn't hit play. I did not.
She couldn't do it.
Nope.
She panicked.
Nope. Yeah. So instead, we did settle on another Ryan Gosling movie, Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
Instead, which turned out to make me laugh a lot.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love stars Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore and Emma Stone.
Yes.
With appearances by Kevin Bacon and others.
And other people. Yeah. So it kind of has a whole bunch of different people, but Steve Carell is definitely the main character of the story of it. He's married to Julianne Moore, and their marriage has imploded basically. And
she slept with someone else.
Yeah, she slept with a coworker, and
he jumped out of a car. That's how it starts. I mean,
that's a good romance movie, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, it's all about them just kind of falling apart. Well, he ends up going to the bar obviously he's just trying to cry his sorrows away. Gosling plays someone who's always at the bar picking up new women every night. Yep. Has kind of made himself into a playboy, and he takes pity on him and it's like, oh my God, I need to fix you.
Oh, because he's like, I'm getting tired of listening to you whine about your wife and your divorce.
Because everyone knows about the guy that she slept with.
Yeah,
and all
you're ruining the vibe of the bar, dude.
Right?
Like...
So takes him shopping and dresses him all up and tries to teach him his ways and does all of that with him. And successfusly has him hook up with some people. And
it's the humor and chaos that comes from it, because it's like the idea that he doesn't really want to do it. He's just thinking he should do it.
Well, he's been married for 25 years.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what it would be like to go, between the two of them. You have Ryan Gosling, who has had no long-term relationship. He has no other life other than what he's doing. And then you have someone who has two kids at home, been married for 25 years. And what are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to pick up women that are maybe on the vein of, childless and maybe never married.
Yeah.
And go from there with it, right? So it's definitely humorous for sure, and talking about trying, and because he's still interacting with his ex-wife, and going from there, right? Doesn't want to move on and trying to find those pieces, because she didn't leave to go to another relationship. She, it was not like I'm running off with this guy type thing, right? And
There's a lot of chaos. It was funny. Chaos. You know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty funny movie. There's moments with the babysitter. There's moments with his son.
It's not a stereotypical romance by any means. Yeah. There's so many characters involved. It's not just two people.
And I really wasn't sure where it was going to go and how it was going to end. Yeah. It eventually got into sort of the stereotypical trope at the end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it had its moments where it was like, hey, so where is this movie taking us?
Miscommunications with things.
Yeah. And no, I really enjoyed it. It was really, it was well acted. It had a lot of laughs for a romantic movie.
Yeah.
Because it was almost more realistic.
Oh, yeah, because you could see some of those things. You're like, yeah, that would have happened right there.
Yeah, there wasn't really any, the stereotypical romantic comedy, like, miscommunication flub that happened in it. Like, it was just more of like you could see everything happening almost more in a real life situation.
Well, because it wasn't them not saying their emotions or anything. Yeah. They said what they were thinking, right?
Yeah. So yeah, no, Crazy Stupid Love. That was a good, I don't know if it would be is it really a romantic movie? Is it a romantic movie? I guess it is. It is. There's romance in it because Gosling finds love.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Emma Stone.
It is, right? And that is, okay, so one of the, like, best get-together scenes ever, though.
Yeah.
Because he's always, just hooking up with one-night stands with these women, and she'd gotten hit on him from before, and she finally has given in, and it was just basically like, let's do this type thing.
Because her
boyfriend is just a tool and just not meant to be.
Wasn't that Josh Groban?
I think so, actually, yeah. And so then she goes home with him, and she's definitely still wants to talk more, and she's nervous, and she's not really quite committed to it. Yeah. And they end up talking more, and she's asking him about his different pickup lines and big moves that he has and everything. So he says, his big move is the Dirty Dancing scene. And so it's now you need to show it to me because now I'm interested in what this is, Yeah, I can say, because I am a massive Dirty Dancing fan, like probably most women my age, and every other woman on the planet, that would have worked right there. That scene, that was impressive.
Yeah.
And they did a good job shooting it. Because it definitely
it's impressive in general because the amount of strength you would need
to lift a woman over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the slide down on the body thing. That's what seals it, because that's like the amazing part of the end of Dirty Dancing too, right? It's like it's so slide. It's this epic like success and freedom and connection that it's representing in Dirty Dancing. And then after they've been dancing, then he does that to her, and then she slides down, and it's just like, then it's the intimacy and the closeness of it, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, it's everything. So it was like that right there made it a romantic movie. So
there you go.
Good stuff.
That's how we tie that in. Just like that. Bang.
But I actually find something that, you enjoyed it because it had to have humor in it too.
Yeah.
So, by the way, we did try to look. Before we decided on Gosling or The Notebook, we did consider You've Got Mail because we talked about that last episode, and we went and we found it. We could watch it, and we hit trailer because I wanted to see, and it was just a clip, and Mike looked like he was just gonna fall asleep and walk away right then. It was oh my god, I've watched 45 seconds of this, and I already want to.
It was like 2 minutes.
I know, but within 45 seconds, you're like, "What is this?" Because it was just a clip.
Yeah, it wasn't a trailer.
It wasn't a trailer, and no, it was not trying to sell it at all. It was. So we just gave up.
It was so dull. I was just like, "What is happening?
Yeah,
why?" And you look so giddy. You're like, "It's You Got Mail."
You know what I was giddy about? The weird nostalgia over AOL. It's like it's bringing me flashbacks of my childhood. And I was like, kiddo was there, and I was like, dude, you used to like sign in to go on to the internet. That dial-up sound, it's good stuff. And you like open it up, and you had to have that extra screen open, and you could like it's like, oh, I'm actually into the internet now. And it's just a weird concept now. Like now you're always on the internet. Now you use all these other different apps, and it's just like that world is so different than it was, and it really. It hasn't been that terribly long. It's been a long time, but
yeah, I mean, the movie was like 2001 or something, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, because I was still on AOL in 2001.
Yeah,
and
so that was like 20 years ago.
20 years ago. I know. Yeah,
the age bomb.
I know. I like to forget how old I'm getting. So we decided not go for that because of there's better romance movies, I think. So we ended up on Stupid Crazy Love, and I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was totally worth it.
So
that's something that I think a lot of people, especially if you're in relationships, if you've been in one for a while, you can relate to things that were in it that you're just like,
yeah.
So.
Well, I thought that was funny at the end. He's talking this speech, and he's like, I've loved her even when I've hated her. And he's like, married people, you'd understand what I'm talking about. And so you have those moments where only certain people that have been together for a long time can really understand.
Exactly.
And
speaking of Dirty Dancing, here's a fun little tip. Oh, I'm bleeding.
Yeah, your knuckles bleeding again, Mister. Morning.
No. That's from when Thor attacked me. No, that's a knuckle bleed.
Oh, I know.
Thor, he's got little cuts and bite marks all over my knuckles. So, and not Chris Hemsworth, because that would be a story.
I like that story. I don't know why Chris Hemsworth's biting you.
I don't know why he's nibbling on my.
Sounds like a good time for me,
right? That's a good bar story.
Yeah.
So Chris Hemsworth was nibbling on my knuckles this past weekend.
Anyways, wow. He's bleeding actually quite intensely.
Anyways, where were they? Oh, Dirty Dancing. So the Time of Your Life song that's in it, right? So when I graduated, and there was like the pick the song. Well, a lot of people got confused, and they thought that we were picking the Green Day Time of Our Life for our song. It turned out that no. We were bamboozled, and it was the Dirty Dancing Time of Your Life.
That is not okay.
So when it played at the assembly, right, that we had at school, there was just like the uproarious, like, what?
That's one of those things where...
At least that's what I remember.
They, whoever planned the playlist obviously didn't know, and they were probably like, oh, Time of Your Life, and then like search for it, and they're like, oh, this must be what they meant. Because that can't be right. I mean, that is not something that you would play for teenagers. Yeah, that's weird. I'm sorry.
Speaking of that was in Riverdale.
I was going to say, we watched Riverdale.
Yeah, I'm trying to jump these things a little bit.
I know, it's good. Because I believe that, Green Day never set out to write the epitome of graduation songs, but that's what they've done. Yeah. The song is just always a graduation song. And
another turning point.
A fork stuck in the road.
Yep.
we have conversations in lyrics, and it really freaks and annoys kiddo out. Yep. He's like, "Are you guys doing that whole song thing again?" Yes, we are, and we are very amused by it.
Whenever you can slip a lyric in a conversation, you should.
Yeah, because it's like this little inside joke, and you just want to see how far people can take that.
Yeah, because if they know it, they will usually respond back to you.
It's a moral imperative,
right? So,
but we watched what should have been the series finale of Riverdale. So we're just gonna bookend Riverdale right now, apparently, and I would have been 100% okay with it just ending now. But they are somehow going to future time hop it and jump them to make them actually older than they are as actors, which is not a normal thing. Yeah. With that. And we'll see what happens with that. It's a little strange.
Yeah, it was really strange.
Like I knew it was going to be difficult with them trying to do in college, but the way things ended, I wasn't expecting that much.
Yeah.
That was strange.
And we got a whole season and an extra season.
Yeah, they just got renewed for another season after that. I'm like, really? What did you pitch to tell them this was going to be okay?
Right.
So that'll be interesting. But anyway, now back to our movies.
So we went to another Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling movie.
Yeah, because we figured, okay, well, we saw them. We're like, well, wait a second. They were in this originally, and then I wonder why if that's why they were in La La Land together. And I love that movie.
Yes.
And I've seen it many, many times. But then faced with the prospect of The Notebook, or La La Land, we're like, well, La La Land it is. Because now, oh look, we accidentally found a theme.
There you go.
And so this time we actually...
It's romancing the Gosling stone.
I like it. Oh, snap.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, you missed that for the episode title.
Ah, well, now it's been redubbed.
You did it.
And now, this week on Cup of Rad, Romancing the Gosling Stone. Romancing the Stone was, by the way, another movie that I watched way too many times because my parents love that movie. Oh my goodness. But we offered to show Kiddo La La Land because he
been liking music.
Yeah, he loves the music. And when we first watched this movie, that soundtrack was on repeat forever.
Months.
It was,
84 years.
Everything's 84 years.
I'm an immortal. I'm a phoenix.
Oh, yeah. And so we thought, we'd give him a chance to see this, and it was okay for the rating, no problem. It was just going to be more dramatic, if anything. And so he agreed to watch that, and I was a little worried at first when we started watching it because he wasn't quite sure some of the jumps of what was actually going on. But about halfway through the movie, he's like, I'm really glad that you suggested that we watch this. Like, I'm really enjoying it. And he ended up really, really, really having a good time with it.
Well, because he allowed his synopsis was... I thought it was just a musical that turned into a romance, but then it turned into art.
Right?
I was like, that's amazing.
Right? Well, so the end scene, which is understandably kind of trippy, it kind of throws you all of a sudden for a loop for things.
Yeah.
And do you remember what his quote was for that?
No.
Everything was totally fine. It was going to be a standard movie, and then it just started tripping balls.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was tripping something, but yeah.
That was his description of the last scene, which was hilarious. And I want to share this picture. He's going to send it to me, and I will see if we can post that on Instagram there. But he was designing some stuff in his Animal Crossing game. And he turns it to me and he shows me this little scene, and it was on the Harz Island, so he can do whatever he wants. And he made the scene of them in their first dance scene up on the hill in the yellow dress and when they're tap dancing. And he makes this whole city street with the lights in the background, the trees. He found a yellow dress. He colored their hair properly, and he makes a whole La La Land scene. And it was just like, I'm floored. It was so adorable.
Right.
So...
Well, he's been loving music, and especially being in music, so that's why we thought we'd try it.
Yeah.
We definitely need to have other musicals to show him, right? Mm-hmm. So...
Well, and I love that this feels, the movie itself is such a great story because, again, it has the whimsical, like, wonderful love story, but also the real life feel and the importance of, relationships having an impact on your life, but maybe they're not the end all relationship as well. But then you follow the importance of following your dreams and never knowing where that path to those dreams will come from, right? It's not necessarily a straight shot for anything like that, but I like how the stories kind of intertwine and the music is used to push the story along. It feels like a giant play. And I think that was such a well done movie for it.
I remember when we first saw it because I originally wanted to see it before Katie wanted to see it.
This story is funny.
And
go ahead.
Oh, it was just the fact that I wanted to see this movie, and it was like not playing near. It wasn't really super easy to get to. And we ended up missing one of the showings, and we were able to get a showing, but we had to sit in like the very front row and all that. But then I really liked the movie, but it was funny because it was like I was dragging Katie to see it. She was just like, "Oh my god!"
Right?
Like, why are we going to this? And I was like, "It's gonna be good." And it's like, and then she just was like, "This is the greatest movie ever," and she's watched it like 50 million times.
I fell in love with Ryan Gosling from this movie.
Well, 2016 was a weird year because it was like
the Gosling year.
The two favorite movies that came out that year were The Nice Guys and La La Land. And it was like, how did Ryan Gosling even become
that level of things, right?
For movies that I would enjoy.
So I love that movie. I love the way it's done. One of my favorite scenes is her end scene when she's auditioning. That actually gives her break. The story she talks about and sings for her aunt. I love that song. I love the lyrics about needing a little bit of madness and I like that line. A little bit of madness is key to give us new colors to see, and just that little bit of off with people. And you need those crazy dreamers to move art along. Mm-hmm. People who are so overtly passionate about something. Yeah. And I love his love for jazz and when he describes it to her, because it is interesting. She talks about jazz and it's like, okay, so for me, I would have associated it with like the soft rocks
Kenny
channel.
G.
Yeah. Well, what about Kenny G? And I think a lot of people are like that, mm-hmm. and he looks like his head's about to explode. Yeah. And then when he talks about it, he makes a really good point, and you think about it in a totally different way. And you realize, no, that's, real jazz music it is chaos, and it's emotional, and it's dirty, and it's not pretty and clean and nice and simple. And it can be, mm-hmm. It's, there's different, but it's no different than rock. There's so many different levels of rock, and we group jazz all into this light, easy listening.
Yeah.
No different than we just say, well, all rock is the same. Well, no, That's not the case at all. And I love that you kind of learn something about it, and it made you think differently about it. But I also really enjoy that his friend tells him, you want jazz is dying, and yet you want it to still be exactly how it was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Jazz itself was created out of revolutionaries and people playing with things and trying things out. So there's a certain amount of flexibility that you need if you really love the concept of jazz, of being more flexible for it too. Yeah. And so finding a new way forward. And so I love that message in there with it too. Yeah. Because it is still so much about music, but with that, it's that concept of your dream not necessarily being so stuck on something that you actually end up hurting your dream. Mm-hmm. You have to be flexible to see how it fits in that new world, but still not sacrificing what those key elements that you really care about are, right? So it is a love story, but it's ultimately a kind of a life story. Exactly. And I think even with Crazy Stupid Love, it is a life story. It's learning, love and life all together intermingled, right? It's not just being swept off your feet. It's all the other little things that go along with it, right?
Well, La La Land also goes that old adage of the better to have loved and lost than never loved at all, right?
Exactly.
Because the idea that even when they show what could have been, mm-hmm. it's the idea that, well, he still loses though, right? Like he doesn't get what his dream was.
And because in reality there was no way for them to both get what they wanted
without being together.
Someone would have had to sacrifice something. And there's
they were
so many
passionate to have that happen.
Exactly. And there's so many people that are so passionate about those things that if we, really what is more important to you, you can find still love and wonderful situations and experiences with people and make it work, right? And everyone can give you something, and you can grow as a person for it, right? And so those are more of our level of romance movies for things. I still have my classics between like Grease and Dirty Dancing, and for some reason Fool's Gold is one of my like stupid indulgent like romance type but it's like an action-y romance movie with humor and stuff, but it was fun watching a little bit something different. I think it was a little bit more fun to share with you.
Yeah.
Those types of levels. And then we get to, experience something with Kiddo and give him some art, as he likes to say.
Yeah.
So it kind of made that a fun family affair with that.
Right. So. No, but I don't even think of ones that I consider like romance movies that I would even like. I don't even know. Like there's a lot of romantic comedies, but I can't even say like, you could put on Cup of Rad. Light some candles, get some pizza, maybe some wine.
I don't know. It sounds like a good time.
Sit on a blanket, put on some Cup of Red, even some of the classics. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, he almost tempted me to Knight's Tale, though, because that was in the romance movies, and that's a movie that I love. So that was tempting. But
she said it wasn't romantic enough.
But it is. But it's, again, when I think about it, though, it's also a life story. But it is like the princess and the guy that can't obtain the princess. And it is a romance only, but it's the opposite. Because normally it's the girl going towards the guy, right? Yeah. So The live action Cinderella is a wonderful life, but also romance movie too. That one's a good. I like that one because it's the fun princess being swept off her feet and finding this wonderful life. But she is. It's much more real feeling, than say your stereotypical Disney animation, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like I just saw this guy once and now I'm going to go live with him forever. She actually develops and kind of gets a sense for him and doesn't just run off to him, right?
Yeah.
So that one's kind of fun, but I'd be curious to see if what you could define as something, if there is a movie that you could actually say, no, I really like that movie that is really a romance. But
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, but see, there's the ones that we fit in different categories, right?
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I love that movie. So yeah, they fit in different categories.
40-Year-Old Virgin, right? Like,
yeah. So
I don't know. There's ones out there. I just don't really think of them as like. Anything could be a date movie. We figured out.
We decided.
We figured out. There's quite a few that actually could be that have hints of romance, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a matter of what your date is. So,
Well, and again, if you're with the right person, any movie can be a date movie.
That's right.
Right? Because that's what it should be. If you really are hanging out, then, it could be anything. It could be a horror movie. Yep. But if all that really matters is that you're enjoying it together, and that's the epitome of the date aspect,
yep.
right?
And you can date yourself, too.
You can.
That's right, because then you don't have to compromise.
You can just I'm in charge of this thing. I can do whatever I want.
Unless you, like, make your hand talk or something, but then that gets a little strange.
Not a little strange, a lot strange. I don't know, maybe you have a puppet? I don't know.
I think I like Bob's Burgers where he's
then maybe you should reach out to other people and try to talk.
I don't know what you're doing, Bob. We're going to watch a movie there, and what kind of movie are we watching? Not one of those again. I don't know if I can take it.
I love the accent that your hand date has. It can change all the time, right?
Yeah, you know? That's the beauty of your hand, I guess. Well, hello.
See, it was getting all nice and adorable, and then Mike just ramped that weird meter up.
Yeah, okay,
wouldn't be any other way.
Well, you miss it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a good time watching something a little different. Not on brand, I guess.
Oh, it is a little bit different.
So, but that's the beauty is that
But we haven't gotten so off brand that we've watched The Notebook. We aren't down there yet. I still really honestly don't have, like, I'm interested because I didn't know it was
you saw the word bring hankies in the Netflix description. You were like, I'm
out. Nope. If it tells me I'm supposed to be crying, no.
Maybe we need to, like, live cast it and maybe we'll make fun of it.
We could do that.
Next year.
Maybe we'll sit there and question it again and then find another movie we can watch.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. But anyways, the Muppets could be a romance movie. The Muppet movie's romantic. That is actually a romantic movie. See, we missed out on so many better movies.
Well, you said Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I'm like, oh crap, I love that movie. Like all these different things, right? And this is why, like, as I say, I have very set amounts of ones that I would refer to as romance movies for myself. There's really not that many of them.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of those stereotypical ones. I tend to not really care about them. A lot of them ones are just from older. So when I do find one that's a newer version, of something more romantic, it's definitely out. Yeah. I don't really plan on it, right? So, but yeah.
Fair enough.
There we go.
You know what? Go enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you're not celebrating Valentine's Day.
No. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no expectation.
If anything, here's this.
We can't even figure out what to do for Valentine's Day.
Here's an idea. Pretend it's Happy Vampire Day. Go watch a vampire movie.
I like it.
Right? There you go.
Didn't one of the years we watched Bloody Valentine?
Bloody Valentine.
That was a date night movie one time. Yeah.
So Deadpool is actually probably a pretty good date movie.
Deadpool's a good romance movie right there.
The first one. But hey, it's Happy Vampire Day.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Okay. Happy Vampire Day, everyone.
Yeah. So Over the next few weeks, I know we want to get watching the Godzilla movies again. And we're also going to go do a DC rewatch.
I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, I'm curious to... we're debating about waiting until Justice League drops to do both versions in the same weekend.
I think it would be interesting to be able to watch them so close because they're supposed to be totally different movies. So it should feel
right.
Really
so I'm
different.
curious. You know, and it was funny. I said that, and Kid, it was like, so we can compare and contrast them,
right?
I was like, well, at least you're learning something at school.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
Can we make a Venn diagram?
Sure.
Yes.
If that makes you happy. That's what you need. Gets you through the night. But yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen this next weekend. If we'll be jumping into Godzilla or if we'll be going a different route.
Yeah.
But you know, it's...
Or if we're watching vampire movies.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be a Vamtastic Valentines.
Ooh,
that's a good title.
I like it.
Vamtastic Valentines.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for listening, everyone. Appreciate it. It's fantastic. And you know what? Stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!